Well, third quarter growth in China was much higher than expected. So through the first three quarters, China has already grown at 5.2%. So we're upgrading our forecast for the year for China from 4.9% to 5.2% in 2023, which is helping to lift the overall forecast for Asia. They still have a lot of risks related to the property sector, which continues to be a drag on growth and will continue to be so through next year, I think. I think the government in China is hoping that they can have a soft landing in this sector without a big drop in property prices that would affect a lot of consumers in the country. But that remains to be seen, whether they can kind of correct the supply-demand imbalance that has been plaguing this sector for some years. And if so, then they can hopefully eventually get to a point where the property sector can be a positive contributor to growth in 2025 and beyond. In the past, property sector has accounted for about 2% or so of growth every year in China.
Albert, do you feel that the leadership in Beijing is moving in the right direction in terms of formulating the right policy response and approach to stabilizing growth?
Well, I think they need to replace the growth they're losing from the property sector, and it's never going to be the way it was in the past. They would like, I think, to shift the sources of growth to innovation in the high-tech sectors, in renewable energy, in AI and other aspects. I think, of course, they have a pretty strong industrial policy to support that. It, I think, remains to be seen how effective those policies will be. I think it's also very important for the country to really focus on improving the market environment for the private sector and to attract investment and foreign direct investment in key areas where they can still benefit from foreign technology. There's been a fairly sharp decline in FDI into China in the last year or so. So I think the authorities, I think they are very much aware of these issues, and I think Xi Jinping's trip to the U.S. and the reassuring words he tried to provide to U.S. industrial leaders, I think was part of the effort to convince the global economic community that China is indeed, going back to a supportive stance for private sector development.